Righto. Thanks for jumping on, everybody. We're just going to share a few stories on the Osteogenics program. A couple of lads here that have had good experiences with it. And yeah, you can take away from it whatever you like and make a decision, and we're here to support. So for me personally, my journey started 3 years ago. I was the son of a naturopath. My mum's a nutritionist with a health food shop. And although I had all this good support and background in health, and I was trying to do my best, eating well, taking supplements, exercising a lot, I was still struggling with my energy a lot and recovery. So I didn't feel as healthy as I should have been, and it was kind of frustrating. But it was almost something that I was learning to accept, and I'm getting older and whatnot. I also used to struggle with my weight a lot. So to maintain my weight, I've got a really high metabolism, plus I have a high level of exercise. So unless I'm training a lot and eating a lot, I sort of fall between the cracks of the couch, so to speak. So good friend who you're going to hear from tonight, Rory, introduced me to the program. I incorporated that into my lifestyle, and through the convenience and just the simplicity of this amazing system, I've been able to really overcome my energy issues, sleep a lot better, just feel a lot better in my skin, immune system, everything just feels more on point. And not only that, I can maintain my weight. I'm up around 80 kilos consistently, which is cool. And it's just convenient. It's not a hard thing. You can order online. You can take it with you anywhere you go. I travel overseas with it. So from there, from my good experiences, thinking that, someone who's investing a lot in their health, if I can get a good outcome, then what could this do for people who weren't so fortunate enough to have the background that I did? So we shared it with a lot of people and just kept seeing more and more great results with it. And to this day, we're still sharing it. And that's sort of why I'm here and sharing it with you guys tonight. So, so that's sort of my story and how I ended up here. I don't know, Dino, if you want to jump in and maybe share how you got involved and your experience, because I think you've been off for a few years now as well.
Yeah, mate. Thanks, Reiss. Well, my little story started probably 2.5 years ago now. I saw my wife getting some great results on the program, and I thought to myself, well, it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. So I jumped on board. I'm a tradie, so I was actually just looking for a bit more energy, really. So I was struggling to get through a day's work and sitting down on the couch having a beer after and not really getting that motivated. So pretty soon after starting, I started getting those energy results, and instead of sitting on the couch having a beer, I was, off going for a surf after work or shooting some hoops with my daughter or something like that. So, which has just made a big difference, which then sort of evolved into me wanting to take that a little bit further, and I got involved back with my local footy club and started doing some running for those guys, just running the messages out to the boys, which sort of morphed into last year. I played a full year of Resi's footy, and then was doing the running straight after going to Resi's. I was going to do the running for the league straight after, which then morphed again into this year. I absolutely smashed a full pre-season, training extra in between, and I actually got myself fit enough to play senior footy again, which I hadn't done for 13 years, I think I worked it out the other day. And, I was running around with my nephew, who's captain of the club, and, that's just amazing. For a guy 42 years old, I was pretty stoked for that. And, it's something that he and I have got together now. We can talk about that for years to come. The old boy got to play a bit of footy with him. So, look, that went from basically starting something just for a bit of energy to something I thought I never could achieve, and I was recovering better and, lasting games out better than I ever had. So from modest beginnings, it turned into something pretty special. So, that's my story. And, getting into it, as far as I'm concerned. You can do that for me, you can do that for anyone. Cheers.
That's awesome, mate. Sorry, Dino. I'm pretty curious in your story too. I haven't sort of heard the pre-isogenics story. So you're a tradie. So would you say you're sort of caught up in the tradie lifestyle and, you know, that busy lifestyle, don't have time, haven't made my health a priority, or was it that you just were unsure of what to do in terms of food and nutrition?
Nah, definitely got caught up. Once I was quite in my footy, as I said, probably 13, 14 years ago, all throughout my juniors and stuff like that. So I was always pretty fit, but then I had a pretty bad knee injury, and so I decided I'd had enough, basically. So, and I let myself go from there, really, Reiss. You know, got slipped into the old beers and pies, and you know, just thought I was going all right, just having a surf every now and then, and that was enough. But clearly, it wasn't. You know, it's so yeah, that's where I decided, well, now's the time to do something about it after I saw what Mandy was going through. So, yeah, that was basically it. Yeah, just took off from there. And, you know, it's been a fantastic couple of years, really. I haven't looked back. After smashing my knee again 5 games into this year. So, let's put that on hold, but that's all right. You get that. That's what happens when you play footy.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That's good to hear. And, so, yeah, I guess it's had a big impact on your life where you've been able to, you know, get back into footy. I guess, could you say it's not just the system and a product that you're buying, it's sort of the culture that comes behind it, the personal development events? Would you say that had a big effect as well on, you know, influencing you to take control again?
That was a massive effect on me. You know, just going to events, not even, I was just trusting in Mandy, basically. She was getting right into the culture and everything like that. You know, she's always sort of lent on me for stuff. But like I had a bit of a chat to Taylor the other day. I was finding that Mandy was leaning towards other people and getting advice from other people. So I could do one or two things. I could either jump on board or get upset about it and tell her, you know, she's an idiot, what's she doing? So, and then basically it went from there, really. You know, all the personal development stuff I took a real liking to, and it's been a bit of a journey since then, you know, till now where I've just sold my business on Monday. So,
okay.
We're in a ledger at the minute, but we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, awesome. And this is a full-time business now with Mandy, because I know she works really hard in helping people.
Yeah, she's going to work it full-time and jump on board a lot more now, Reiss. I think I've been around the traps long enough and I've helped her out long enough to sort of work out the ins and outs of it. We still have to do something. I still have to go and do something. I'm just getting out of the bricks and mortar side of things, mate, and the overheads and everything like that, and going to a laptop lifestyle, really. Or just going down anyway. So.
That's good. They say, is it the same with a fishing boat? With business, the best 2 days of business is the day you buy it and the day you sell it?
Exactly, mate. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it's been massive relief, for sure. I've had the first 3 days of this week just wondering what I'm doing, really. But I have been busy running around, you know, I've got stuff to sort out. But
yep.
It's, yeah. I'll be around a bit more now. So
that's awesome.
A little bit more time. I'm having to worry about those external things.
Yeah, that's good. And in terms of business, you know, coming from a successful business guy, this is very underestimated on what we have in our hands here, where you can own a business, create an income and not have to have those overheads and stresses. It's just the front end of the business. You just enjoy it, you help people, and the back end's completely taken care of. There's no stock or logistics. Like, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is absolutely crazy. I mean, the only capital you got to put in is you start the first pack, you know, and away you go. So everything else, I mean, it's still obviously hard work, and we've found that. Mandy's worked a little butt off to get where she is, and you know, I've been in the background just supporting and doing the legwork there. But you know, it's time to kick it off a little bit more, and yeah, we're pumped for it. So looking forward to it.
Oh, awesome, mate. Look forward to seeing the journey.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Good. And how about you, Rozar? What's your story, mate? Give us the rundown from back in the day when you're a physio and your health journey to now, being a 7 or 6-figure income earner, working on the beach of Sri Lanka, maybe 12 months travel ahead.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, mate, I wouldn't have. I guess I sort of dreamed of this, 5 or 6 years ago, but I never thought it would really be a reality for me. But yeah, it's funny what happens when your mindset shifts and you start to be open to things that have always been there, things in plain sight. And I guess that's sort of where my health journey started, because a lot of people, when I was working as a physio with, I was a senior physio at the East Freo Footy Club. I was looking after a clinic in Bicton in Western Australia, and probably seeing your 100-odd patients a week, everything from chronic pain. But I really focused on the elite performance. So there were the Ferraris who wanted to go faster, and then there's the old 1940 model cars which couldn't even get out of the garage in the morning. And I really love seeing people just move up the health spectrum and become unrestricted, or get a level of I guess just a level of function back in their life. And I see it so much these days where like Dino's a great example. You start to feel better, and all of a sudden you start playing footy again at 42. So that's the stuff that really excites me. But yeah, I guess it all started when I was 25 and I burnt out. Everyone was telling me that I was working too hard, and I was just, trying to climb the corporate ladder, so to speak, and wanted to, a young ego, wanted to be the best physio and work for the Dockers and do my scholarship at the Australian Institute of Sport. And I had all that ready to go, but, one day I woke up and the human vessel, or the thing that was going to take me on the journey, just wasn't working. So I had digestive issues, long-standing fatigue. I pretty much got every diagnosis under the sun: IBS for the guts, leaky gut syndrome, gut-brain axis, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it was just, I just couldn't eat the stuff that I used to eat, and I just found that it was just really uncomfortable, and because I had no energy. So I was napping during the day, and and I guess this program fell across my lap through Peter Kelly, and she was working with me in Fremantle, like in the same sort of industry. She was a personal trainer at the time. She was doing a PhD at the University of Western Australia, and I noticed she quit. And that made me really sort of like ask her, like, what the hell are you doing? And she told me about this program. And long story short, I was, super skeptical, probably more so than anyone I think I've talked to in this entire business and industry so far. There's maybe been a couple people more skeptical, but that's just what we were taught. We were taught to do our due diligence and really go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And after 9 months, Peter just said, just give it a crack. You can rationalise this till the cows come home, and you can talk about ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, and you can go through the nutritional science and all that crap. But at the end of the day, give it a go and let us know what you think. You can get your money back at the end of 30 days. And she actually bought my pack. That's how much she saw that I needed it. And within 2 weeks, like I said this before, but energy-wise, if I was an iPhone battery on 10% when I started, I was at about 80% within 2 weeks, and getting up before my alarm clock and powering through to 10 p.m. And I just hadn't had that for literally 3 years. And then the digestive issues started to settle down, and all of a sudden I wasn't intolerant to all those things that I was highly sensitive to, because my stomach was doing what it was meant to do. And then I started to see my six-pack come back, and that was sort of like a bonus. I never did it for weight loss. And then from there I just kept using the program and training, and I put on about 4 kilos of muscle, and I can go for a surf in the morning, train for footy in the arvo, and pull up the next day and be okay. And I haven't had that since I was probably about 18 or 19. So that's sort of, I guess, my health story, Hunty. And now I'm just it's a tool in my belt. I'm still a physio. I still run an integrated health business, and I'm just open-minded to tools that get the best outcomes. So this one keeps getting outcomes for people, and I keep on hearing more and more stories. So I just keep supporting and facilitating it. And I know it's no compromise, and I know the integrity of the business because I've done my due diligence there, and I've seen their vision and their values, so, and like where they source their ingredients. So for me, it was a bit of a no-brainer, man, to be honest. But yeah, is there anything else you need to know?
Well, so I'll probably set this second part up. before I'd ever ordered my pack. We were on a holiday in Java together. And
Yeah,
I
we were.
remember I was going back to the mines because that's what I did for work. I was in the mining industry. I'd have my break. I'd go travel. Then I'd go back when I had no money. That was basically my lifestyle. And I remember you coming on the trip and I was like, well, what are you going to do now? And you're like, oh, I'll just keep traveling. I'm like, what do you mean? And you're like, well, I quit my job and do this isogenics thing I've been telling you about for months that you won't listen to. And I'm going traveling. And I was just like, whoa, hang on a minute. Like, what's going on here? So that's when I started to, have a good look, a conscious look at it. So what happened there? So, you built there for a few months, years, and then you took it.
Well, I guess it's probably just how it goes. Like, I got to a point where I had a really good health experience, and when you go from being an iPhone battery on 10% to 80%, you just can't help but tell people about it, and people either perceive that as you trying to sell them on something, or your excitement might just purely be what it is. And for me, that's what it was. And I remember chatting to you, and I think the first time I chatted with you, I just more wanted your opinion on it because I knew your dad was a naturopath, I knew your mum owned a health food store, and I was like, hey man, this is a result I've got. Like, what do you think about this? And I've always respected your opinion in that area. You probably, like I think I said a couple of weeks ago, you're more knowledgeable on this stuff than I am, and you've actioned it your entire life. So so that was pretty simple, for me, to basically start talking to people about it. And yeah, and you're a bit like me. I remember I'd chat with you about it, and the male ego gets in the way, and I was the same for 9 months, maybe even longer. And then you were open to it, and I guess that's sometimes different triggers trigger different people. But for you, I guess it was more, the fact that we're in Java, and I'd actually just started organically sharing this with patients and people and friends, and never really even thought about it as a business. And then one day I got a check saying, you've made, I think it was over $1,000, which was more than enough for me to just do what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't have a lot of overheads. I was working as a physio, maybe earning $1,500, $2,000 a week. But working 100 hours. So when I shared the program with X amount of people, and all of a sudden I had that in my bank account, it made me really step back and be like, shit, maybe this is like a real thing. And I think it's the self-belief that, I could actually do it. I think that's I've never run a business before. I knew the stats about how many businesses failed. I've been to a lot of entrepreneurial events, I guess it was just, that was sort of the turning point for me. And I just kept doing that and just said, well, if I can impact more people, then I can generate more income. And, I just started helping people help more people, and helping people that I met along the way without sort of pushing or forcing it. And, what is it, 4 years later, and, I've got a multiple six-figure residual income. And I don't know if people really understand what that means, but go Google like residual passive income, because people talk about being like rich and like having money, but to have resources and have time, like, I think that's worth $1 trillion. Like, it's to be able to be over in Sri Lanka as an example, and this is a trip that I want to have this really nice work lifestyle integration, and I think everyone deserves that in their own way. And to be over here and be getting paid whilst I'm traveling, and to be able to work from my computer, like Dino was saying before, you can do it at any age. And I think the more and more we realize that anyone can do it, the more and more people are going to find ways of doing it with health and wellness. Like, I met guys that are doing with, they're teaching kite surfing, and they've just set up a YouTube channel, and, they travel the world kite surfing and training, and, they're working from their laptop and from different locations. So the thing is, there's so many people who can do it in different ways. But if you're, in the health and wellness area, and you actually give a shit about people, and you want to help them, then I honestly, I haven't seen a better tool, or something that's actually moving people from one place to another, and actually, helping like people, one, get healthy, and two, having a successful business. Like, it's, as soon as you help one person, you have like one cycle in your business, you're in positive cash flow pretty much. Most people have paid off their products within the first month, so everything from there is green, and that's unheard of in a business. Like, how much you had to probably invest in your business. I remember, Reiss, we've talked about so many ideas about, creating teas and things like that, and just the infrastructure and all that. And even me, I'm now using the money I've gained from this to create my own startup. And that's, that's close to $100,000, So And I imagine trying to do that without positive cash flow, and it'd be really stressful. And I'd probably be doing it at the expense of my health and at the expense of my relationships and everything else. But to be able to sort of have your cake and eat it too is yeah, I think everyone deserves that. And it's just a matter of self-developing and thinking a little bit differently and surrounding yourself with people that are uplifting and positive. And yeah, anyone can do it, man. That's probably the key message.
100%.
So,
I mean, that generation where it's the new rebellion is breaking away from corporate and going online and traveling and working. You're seeing so many people on Instagram and YouTube and, you know, making the money off that. So I guess it's really cool to have, you know, what we have here, which is a business model, an amazing product. The product's proven, the business model's proven. I think, you know, there's a couple of, you know, millionaires in this company, probably a couple of hundred, but it's crazy. So it's all proven, it's all there. It's like buying a franchise without the massive overhead. You know, everything's set up. So it's so underestimated the power of this business. Like you say, you know, you can have a successful business, but doesn't mean you're free. I have a friends that are amazing, some of Australia's most successful entrepreneurs, and they're tied to their business 24/7. 100%. Income that you're making, you're traveling, and you're not bound by location, you know, like you just had a change of events and you're like, I think I want to go travel for 12 months. Like that's unheard of. So.
Yeah. And the key thing is, man, I didn't mention as well, but I've been working with the Entrepreneurs Institute for the last 2 years. So I'm facilitating and working with businesses that are making 7 figures in turnover, but you look at their balance sheets and most of them are in negative cash flow, which means that, you know, they might be running a $2 million business, but they've got 2.2 in expenses and wages and things like that. So, you know, when I said before that you know, that's a business that's running, like, that's an expensive hobby, to be completely honest. Obviously they balance the sheets out and, you know, they play around with things and they pay themselves out of the business. But the point is like, as soon as you start making like 20 grand with this vehicle, you know, 50 grand, 100 grand, like, you know, with no overheads, no anything else, like it is crazy. And the fact that like 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, like 7-year-olds like Jimmy Smith and, you know, tradies like Dino can do it. It's just, for me, it's, I don't know. I look at something that, you know, yeah, sure, it's not for everyone because not everyone's interested in health and wellness and not everyone cares about helping other people, you know, move up the health spectrum. But for those that do, this is, you know, it's a great tool for the belt. And, you know, if it isn't for them with this, then, you know, there's other tools in the industries or the aligned purposes and passions that they have. And, you know, even if they just use this for their health, you know, rocket it and, you know, maybe support your mate that's utilizing this as a business and maybe refer people to them and they'll do the same with you with your passion. So I think that's sort of where I want to finish off with this, man. But it's, it's opened up so many doors for me and I'm here to share this with anyone. I've actually, you know, at the moment, like I said, I'm in Sri Lanka, but, you know, I could be out there kite surfing, not giving a shit about these calls or anything like that. But I've been given so much by this community that I'll rock up from anywhere at any time. Like I've got to get up for a call in the UK at like 2 a.m. and I'm happy to do that because people have done that for me. And that's the type of integrity and the value that you have in the community as well, which I haven't seen ever, you know, in any community I've been in. Everyday people helping everyday people. And yeah, that's, I don't think you can buy that. You can't buy culture.
Yep, sure. And that's a cool thing. It attracts a unique sort of person, open-minded sort of person, like Dean. Like we never would have met unless it would have been for this company. So it brings a whole bunch of people together. That's pretty exciting. Similar mindset. Very good. Well, thanks for sharing, lads. Appreciate that.
All right, Scott. Thanks, Reiss.
All good, man.
No, you're right.
Good to
Yeah,
hear.
you too, Dino.
Practice, mate.
Yeah, mate, I'll take a couple of tumbles.
That's good. All right.
All right, legend.